Hey guys, it's Cal from the Lighting Doctor here. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this consultation series. We're going to give you all kinds of tips and tricks for effectively and properly lighting up your home. This is a free consultation that we do for all our clients. So if you want to get your free consultation, just shoot me an email at cal@lightingdoctor.ca. Send me a few pictures and we'll give you a video presentation of what lights are going to work best with your property, or go and visit us at lightingdoctor.ca or go check out all our videos on YouTube.
Hey, Brad, thanks again for sending the pictures and for buying the try it before you buy it lights. I'm sure you've got to try some things out here, and I'll give you some suggestions based on that. You can play around a little bit more, but also glad to hear you're a bigger fan of the uplighting, because I think you've got the perfect house for that. So what I would do here on your properties, I would definitely start with the house and really making that stand out, because I think you got some really cool features. So first off, I would try and use the accent lights, like these guys here at the base of all of these 6 columns here. So I would try and get one fairly close, shining up on that column, on this column, this column, and this column. And then for this one, I know the step's kind of there, but I would try and get it as close as possible. You're still going to get a lot of light on there. And then the only thing I would add to this light that's by the steps on both sides is I would put something called a hex baffle. It's basically just a little honeycomb filter that fits over the lens. It just helps deflect some of the glare. So as you're walking, in and out of the house, that light's, you're not going to really see that light. I think it's probably going to be pretty well hidden by the stairs anyway. But it's just an extra, a little bit of extra measure to help deflect that glare. And then what I would do is, I know that these are pretty big, but I would still, just to keep the consistency on the house, I almost think you got to do them both or not do them at all, but I would try and actually get some uplights behind the shrubs and the landscaping here, and actually uplight the shutters of the house here, because it's going to get the shutters, but it's also going to catch a lot of the brickwork and really make it stand out. And I would do that on both sides of the house, on both windows, so you create that consistency of light. However, if you wanted to skip that and focus more on the front landscape, then you could definitely do that. And the way I would do that is I would actually use some of the wash lights. I like these for that because it's a softer, wider light. So it would be a good fit here, and I would probably try and get a wash light somewhere in here that kind of washes these shrubs here, and then another one here that kind of washes these shrubs over here. And then I would do the same thing on this side, probably have 2 of them that kind of just wash with just nice balanced light on both sides here. I still think you could do that if you backlit these shutters, even though a lot of that's going to be hidden. It's still going to create that nice balance throughout the house, and you look like an area that you probably don't have to worry about losing a lot of the color in the wintertime. But I know if you did, and these weren't maybe as vibrant, then that would stand out a little bit more. And then the other thing I would do that most people will probably miss, and this will help you stand out a lot more, is if you actually run some wire up the eaves trough into the gutter, and then actually mount these accent lights into the gutter and highlight these 2nd story peaks here. And the way you do that is we have a gutter mount that basically screws to the gutter, and the light screws into that, as opposed to screwing into a ground stake. All the connections that we use are all waterproof, so you can actually make the connections just leaving the gutter. But I would have an accent light that highlights each of these 3 peaks on the top of the house, and that would really, really make it stand out. So I think that would be my my ideal thoughts for the front of the house. And then moving into the back, so a couple different things. I mean, 2 things I would definitely focus on are the palm trees here. Now, the only thing with them being in the grass, you're going to want to use something like an in-ground light, so something that sits flush in the ground now. So basically, it's going to sit right in the grass, but it's going to be ground level, so you can actually mow over it, as opposed to if you used like a regular accent light that you're going to have to trim around, and you got to worry about hitting with a lawnmower, or kids playing, or whatever it is. And I would probably try and get that in-ground light kind of at the base, somewhere right about in front here, and just highlight up the palm trees on both sides. And then going across here, I would probably do the same thing with those in-ground lights, and I would just try and create an even balance of light across the canopy here. So what I mean by that is Not so much that you try and get a light on each of these trees, because then you're gonna have one here, and then one over here, and it kind of creates a big hole here. What I would almost try and do is I would just try and balance that as equally as possible. So maybe you get an in-ground light here that kind of shines up and is more just catching as much of the trees and the foliage as possible, and then balance another one kind of in here in the middle that would kind of catch all those, and then again another one over here that would catch this tree and that, and really just try and space them out as evenly as possible, because it's just going to look a lot more natural that way than if you were to try and do this tree, and this tree, because then you end up with a big dark hole here. And not that that wouldn't look bad, but I think it's going to look a lot better if you have that balanced light. And that's where the try it before you buy it light, it comes in handy, is you can kind of go and place those in that different area and get a better visual of what that's going to look like. And basically the in-ground light is going to give you the exact same effect as the accent light will. It's just, it's going to be a lot less maintenance in grass areas like that. So hopefully that gives you some pretty good ideas. If you have any other questions, by all means, just shoot me an email and go play around a little bit more with that light just to help out a little bit more.
Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed that video presentation with some great tips and tools of how to go and properly and effectively light up your landscape. And be sure, if you want your own free consultation video just like that one, send me an email at cal@lightingdoctor.ca with a few pictures of your property, and we'll get back to you with some really cool ideas and ways to go and effectively light your property. And be sure to watch the videos after this one for more tips on how to install landscape lighting, as well as how to light up your landscape the best way possible.